Ahoy there, this is Derek, the convicted cinephile, and if you're gay, his voice sounds weird. Oh, hold on, let me swallow all the way. Huh.
Talk, shop, pop, movies.
Ahoy there, this is Derek, the convicted cinephile, and if you're a convicted cinephile yourself, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel down below. On my channel, I like to talk, shop, and pop open, that is. Movies and physical media. I'm going to finally do my top 10 favorite movies of the year. This is not the objectively best movies of the year list. This is not my Oscar predictions. That's a different thing. Go watch that. It's fun. I do a lot of award season stuff on here. You know where to find it. It's on this channel. Go look for it. It's not hard. But everyone else and their grandma does like their top 10 favorite movies of the year. I haven't ever really done one that I remember, but I have a terrible memory. So I'm probably wrong. I haven't watched a ton of 2024 releases, sadly. I don't have a lot of time to go to the theater because my wife and I both love to watch movies and we can't bring our kid to everything. So you got to find a babysitter. So half the stuff I watch has to be stuff he can also watch, with the exception of Deadpool and Wolverine, which we let him see because he loves superheroes. And I mean, if you hear the word fuck once, what's the difference between hearing it once and 118 times? But other than that, yeah. And there's a lot of late season Oscar stuff. I want to see like The Brutalist, which I think I'll just love to death as a film, an artistic achievement. I haven't even watched Dune 2 yet. That's how lame I am. So I'm going to do my top 10 favorite movies from 2024 that I saw and give some awards out for some of my least favorite 2024 films that I saw. Here we go. Should I sprinkle them throughout? I think I might. Editing coming towards you. Making this up on the fly. That's how I like it. And I've only watched all of these one time each, so with the exception of Deadpool and Wolverine, I think. I saw it in theaters and then I watched it when it came on Disney Plus. But with the exception of all of that, with that one, I've only watched all these once. Things change. Let's just put it that way. I don't think you can truly know you love a movie until you've seen it at least more than once, personally. But my number 10 right now is Conclave, a very, very sharply written, surprisingly hilarious, well acted, beautifully photographed Oscar contender, destined to get several Oscar nominations. It does not win, but I think it's foolproof adapted screenplay winning material. So we'll go there. Ray Fiennes finally getting a lead acting nomination again for the first time in almost 30 years. That's crazy. Stanley Tucci, the Tooch, is the best. Isabella Rossellini making the most of anyone has ever made with 8 minutes of screen time. It is, as far as movies about the Catholic Church and the Vatican go, a hoot and a half. I recommend you watch it. It's on Peacock, I believe. That's how I watched it. I didn't have a chance to see it in theaters. It's a great movie. I am the least religious person you'll ever see in your life, but I still find all of that fascinating. And it's not a true story or anything like that. It's like a fictitious conclave that happens. It has an amazing ensemble cast, including Ray Fiennes. It's got John Lithgow in it, which automatically makes it at least a 7 out of 10. It's got Stanley Tucci, same thing, Isabella Rossellini, and it's a pretty movie. It's from the same director of All Quiet on the Western Front, which was my favorite movie, once again, out of all those Best Picture nominees that I saw only one time a couple years ago, Edward Berger. But it's a solid flick. If you haven't watched it and you have Peacock, do yourself a favor. Watch Conclave. I like a little bit of everything. Like there's like at least 8 different genres in my top 10, which is cool. This is a movie I didn't know anything about. My wife actually brought it up to me once saying, it's like, hey, here's this creepy movie that's supposed to be cool. Whatever. All those Instagram posts about creepy movies always suck. People are like, here's the best movies of the year. And it's like dog shit Netflix movies. And then I saw a Red Letter Media video where they talked about it. And they both really loved it on there. And I am the same person as Red Letter Media in my brain and my taste. I was like, okay, let's watch this. This was the most creepy, unsettling movie I've watched in a while. It's extremely suspenseful. My wife was like this under a blanket the whole time, just waiting for shit to happen, and it was amazing, which probably brings it up like at least 4 or 5 places in this list. Just, I love watching her get creeped out by shit. It's just fun. But that movie, which is on Shudder, I believe we watched it on, is Oddity. Oddity is an amazingly small horror film. It's damn near all in one location. It's about a weird little wooden man doll, which is the creepiest looking thing you've ever seen in your life, before it does anything, being gifted to this husband whose wife was murdered by one of the husband's mental patients, allegedly. That's how the film starts. There's a creepy dude at the door. The wife's home alone. He keeps banging on the door. She doesn't want to let him in, and he says he saw someone in the house. Someone's in there with you, but she doesn't know who to trust. And hilarity ensues. Not really, but that's the gist of the premise of the film. But anyways, her sister, who's a blind medium, finds them, goes to their house, brings this gift, this creepy wooden man doll, and a horror movie plays out, and it's very slow paced, it's very methodical, it looks really cool, it's creepy as fuck, and it pays off pretty damn well. If you like horror movies and you haven't watched Oddity, or you like slow burn thrillers, Oddity is a damn cool movie. Please watch it and thank me later. Don't mind me. You can't tell I'm already Sig Zemus to the wind. And then maybe we'll get into my turds after this one. It's on everyone's top 10 list who likes things that are popular. Popular. They're gotta be popular. That's the joke. It's Wicked. Wicked is a good movie. It's that's all I have to say. I saw the play probably a decade ago downtown. It's great. Listen to the soundtrack plenty of times in the car with the wife, especially while driving like 4 hours to Iowa and back. I'm in Minnesota, so that's where I am. It's a great story. It's a great play. It's hilarious. It's fun. The movie does. Hold on, I got a phone call. I'm recording. What? That's not getting cut out. Anyways, great movie, brilliantly cast, did wonderful at the SAG Awards. If you like Wicked, there's nothing you're gonna dislike about this movie, I could imagine. I'm not like an obsessed Wicked fan where I think it's the best thing ever made just because it exists, because that's how a lot of people seem to think. Everyone's like, it's the best movie of the year, but they've only seen 3 movies. But it's a great movie. It's the best Broadway adaptation I've seen, but it does it so much justice. It's only a part one of two, but it takes 2 hours and 40 minutes, which seems like a long time. It goes by reasonably quick. It doesn't seem to drag, considering it takes the entire length of the play to play the first half of the movie. But it's great. Like the songs are great. They didn't shoehorn a bunch of bullshit original songs in there to try to bait for nominations, which I respect. But the performances are great. Cynthia Erivo, Ariana Grande, fantastic. The ensemble's great. I hope it wins Sang Ensemble over Amelia Perez because nobody wants that. And yeah, go see Wicked if you haven't. Everyone's already seen it for the most part. If you hate musicals, you probably won't like it. If you like Wizard of Oz and you hate musicals, you might get something out of it. Wicked, a good number 8, solid number 8. Let's go down to the bottom of the of the pool here. My least favorite movie I watched this year, and it's only my least favorite by default because I didn't finish watching it because I didn't give a shit. Like I just got tired and stopped, and my kid had to go to bed, and I had like 15 minutes left, and I just didn't care to finish this movie. And it's M. Night Shyamalan's crap. I mean, trap. Excuse me. I like M. Night Shyamalan. At least I want to. I love his first couple films. Sixth Sense is amazing. Unbreakable is amazing. Science has its issues, but I think it's great otherwise. I like The Village more than most people. And then everything after that is like watching a poop slowly fall into a toilet full of diarrhea. This is how M. Night Shyamalan's career kind of went. Josh Hartnett, science bless him. He gets a lead role in this movie after winning a Screen Actors Guild Ensemble Award for the Best Picture winning Oppenheimer. I love to see him back in things, but this movie is just weird. Has no one been to a concert who made this movie? There's like a break for every 5 minutes. It's like, no, that's not how concerts work. I literally had to stand for 6 hours in one spot at a concert I went to in the summer because if I moved, someone would take my spot. in the front of the thing. You can't just like, let's go to the bathroom every 15 minutes and then hope we get back to the front. That's not how concerts work. Clearly, he hasn't been there, and he just wanted his daughter to be a pop star in a movie. It sucks. Like it's campy enough that it can be fun in points, but based on the fact that I didn't even bother to finish it because I knew exactly where it was going. Trap is my least favorite movie that I watched from last year. Lucky number 7. I put The Wild Robot. Gosh darn, is this movie adorable. My favorite animated movie I saw this year, not that there's many things in competition for that. I think I saw, two. But it's adorable. It's just beautiful story of motherhood and trying to let go of the things you took care of. And my wife was in tears several times throughout the movie in the theater. Even I got choked up once in a while. The score knows exactly where to pull your heartstrings, so does the song in it. But it's a beautifully animated movie. It's a cute story. It's not the best animated movie ever, but it's probably the best thing DreamWorks has made. And I don't even know how long. The first How to Train Your Dragon, probably over a decade. So The Wild Robot, everyone saw it already, but that's my number 7. It's an adorable movie that'll sure I'll watch a handful of times in the future, what with having a chitlin and all. On to my number 6, which is one I was very late to the party to. Challengers. I watched this on Amazon or whatever the hell it's on. I don't even know anymore. HBO. Heard great things. It's one of those movies that I heard so much hype about. I didn't bother to watch it when it came out because I was worried that it was just this like, I don't know, hip thing that kids liked because I'm old. But I really enjoyed it. It has one of the best scores of the year, easily. It is probably my favorite edited film of the year. But it's an extremely well written movie. Any movie that has a brilliant bookend from the beginning to the end, either in photography or screenwriting, I love. And there's a lot of setups and payoffs in this movie. Back and forth tennis, haha. Great cast. I really liked both supporting actors in it a lot. Mike Feiss and Joseph Connors were great. Zendaya is solid. There's nothing wrong with this movie as long as you can get into the vibe that is Challengers. Luca Guadagnino made 2 movies this year, and they're both probably going to get in at the Oscars, hopefully at least in one category. If this doesn't get at least nominated in score and editing, I don't know something's wrong. That's all it needs. It could get nothing else but those 2 things, and I'll be happy. My next least favorite film of the year probably is worse than Trap, to be honest, but I finished it. I don't know why. It's fucking terrible. It's Dear Santa. I love the Farrelly brothers. I love Jack Black. This movie was a painful anti-Christmas comedy. It's such a waste of a funny premise of someone mistaking Satan for Santa, and then they just I don't even want to talk about it. It's just fucking horrible. Don't bother watching it. Unless you like are a diehard Jack Black fan, steer clear of Dear Santa. I'm not even going to go into that one too far. We're going to go back to the real movies now on my list here. Number 5, one I was very glad to go see in theaters a week or so after it came out, is my first, surprisingly, Robert Eggers film. I have not seen any of his other films yet. For some reason, I've wanted to see all of them and I haven't seen any of them, but I liked Nosferatu a lot. It was exactly what I expected. Another slow-paced, brilliantly made movie. Apparently that's my thing. Beautiful costumes, production design, cinematography, surprisingly funny acting from like Willem Dafoe, who's brilliant and everything. Lily Rose Depp, I believe is her name, the lead actress, Johnny Depp's daughter, is fantastic in it. She can get possessed like nobody else I've seen in a while. Nicholas Hoult is great. He had a great year in general with like Juror Number 2 and a couple other films he popped up in. It's just solid. It's just a solid fucking movie. It's beautiful to look at. The score is great. The makeup is amazing. The production design is astoundingly lovely. Like I said, it's exactly what I wanted this movie to be, having seen the original Nosferatu a couple of times way back in film school and recently. I'm not a huge Dracula fan. I rewatched the Coppola Dracula pretty recently with my wife because we were just thinking about it a lot. I think it's fine. I love the in-camera effects, but otherwise, outside of Gary Oldman and like the costumes, I think it's pretty mediocre. This is probably my favorite Dracula-related movie I've ever seen. By the way, Nosferatu is a ripoff of Dracula, if you didn't realize. Yeah, go see Nosferatu. I'm glad it like hit at the box office too. It made like 40 million bucks over Christmas weekend. That's fantastic for a fucking horror movie like that. But Nosferatu is great. Go see it in theaters if you have a chance. It's funny, it's creepy, it's gross. The performances are great, and you get to see Rasputin mustache Nosferatu wiener in it. So there's no losing. Number 4 of my favorite movies. I waited to do this video because I knew I was going to see a couple things coming up. That's why I kind of took an extra week. Is another one I bought digitally, God forbid, because it was on sale for $10, marked off at 30. And it's something I was dying to see in theaters and just never had the chance. Something I hold close to my heart as a person who likes funny things, and that is Saturday Night. The Saturday Night Live film takes place the 2 hours or 90 minutes or whatever it is before the airing of the first episode of SNL in real time, more or less. Fantastic ensemble. Everyone that got to play these actors like Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd and such did an amazing job, really looking and sounding like them, feeling like them without seeming like caricatures, which is tough to do for a movie like that, I feel. You get to see J.K. Simmons' huge fake Milton Berle penis, which is always a bonus. The editing in this and the score in this, once again, just like Challengers, is amazing, but sadly, this has been getting shit on all award season, and it's a shame because this score and the editing in this movie is outstanding. The ensemble is outstanding, and it didn't get any love at SAG. It's just a damn good movie. If you love SNL, I don't know how you don't like it. Like, I don't want to go on too long about this one. Like I said, I bought it on Amazon Prime. It's on Blu-ray now, I think. I bought it like the week or so before it came out on Blu-ray. It came out on Blu-ray on the 7th, whatever this most recent Tuesday was. Watch it. If you like SNL or comedy or TV history or anything in that genre, and it seems shorter than it is. A lot of movies that are in real time always feel longer than they are, I feel, to me, for some reason. Like if there's a 90-minute movie that's in real time, I always think it feels longer than it is. This movie's a shade under 2 hours, and it's just right. Like when it was done, my wife was like, "That was it." Like I thought it was like I'm like, "Yeah, like that's it." She's like, "Oh shit, that went by really quick." I'm like, "Yeah." She thought so even more than I did. So Saturday Night is my number 4 favorite movie I've seen from 2024. Next in my crapathon, I'm just gonna talk about a few more. My third least favorite movie I watched from last year is the generic Die Hard wannabe ripoff Netflix film Carry On. My wife loved it. She loved Jason Bateman, but so do I. But that doesn't make me like every movie he's in by default. This is like if Die Hard 2 was nothing like Die Hard 1, but they released it anyways and straight to video. Carry On, everybody. It sucks. I mean, it's on Netflix. If you're at home and you want to watch it, watch it. I don't think it's good. The actors in it are good. Not necessarily in the movie, but in general, they're good actors. All right, in my top 3 now. My number 3, my third favorite movie of the year is my simp pick. It's the my basic bitch pick. Deadpool and Wolverine is my third favorite movie I've seen. It was exactly what I was hoping. I'm a lifelong Marvel fan. I've like literally since I can remember. Anything comic book related in the movies I've loved. I don't have superhero fatigue like everybody else because I wished I had all these superhero movies when I was a kid. All I had was the original Superman pretty much and the original Batman, and that was it. So like anytime anything superhero-esque came out like Blank Man or Meteor Man, I love that shit. I still do. It's great. But having these movies now exactly how you pictured them in your head on screen, I love the dedication throughout and at the end of the film to the Fox Marvel Universe. Even Elektra, which is terrible, but I love Jennifer Garner and I love that she came back to play the part. You get Gambit in there from Channing Tatum, which never came to be, and they just make fun of that throughout the movie. It is probably my favorite comedy of the year. I guess it is, just looking at the list. My favorite straight up comedy of the year, just above Saturday Night. And it's something I will rewatch over and over again. It's like turn your brain off fun. And you gotta have that once in a while. So that's my Deadpool and Wolverine is my turn your brain off, stupid fun, nostalgia, childhood movie. of the year. I loved it. And Hugh Jackman, he didn't have to do anything in this movie. He could have phoned it in so hard, but he makes you feel things as long as you're watching and give a shit. So kudos to him for trying. And Ryan Reynolds, like I said before, God bless him. I'm going to go do my other two least favorites before I do my two favorites. My second least favorite movie of the year gets the hardest to sit through, most disappointing award, and that is for Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. If you can't tell, I like Beetlejuice. I've seen Beetlejuice at least 100 times in my life, and I'm not exaggerating. I used to watch it weekly on VHS as a child. I didn't give a shit about them making a sequel to the movie. I kind of wish they never have, especially now. But it's one of those movies I was fine with never having a sequel. And then they finally made it. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll be happy if I don't hate it. And I kind of hated it. Like, outside of Michael Keaton just being awesome as the character Beetlejuice, which is to be expected, and like the makeup and such, this movie was the most difficult movie I have sat through in theaters in such a long time. If I wasn't with my wife and kid, and they weren't sort of into it, my kid didn't love Beetlejuice as much as I did, I would have left. I don't walk out of movies. I think I've walked out of one movie in my entire life. And that's because I was with like six friends who also all wanted to walk out. And I was like, fine, this sucks. I would have walked out of Beetlejuice because I was so fucking bored and uninterested in this movie. I hated it. Everything about it. This is probably genuinely my least favorite movie I saw this year, just because I had some hope for it and have like something in my heart where I have appreciation for the original. But ugh, it was a slog. Like, I don't want to sit through it again. If only Alec Baldwin didn't accidentally murder that lady. My least favorite, this is the winner of the should have been direct to video Disney sequel award, and that is Moana 2. It looks fine. It's Moana. It's Disney Animation Studios. Everything looks good. The songs in this movie are so bad. They reek of direct to video Disney movie itis. And I just didn't care. My wife and I both fell asleep for like 20 minutes in this movie at different times, and neither of us still knew what happened, even after talking to each other. I don't care. I like the first one quite a bit. The first one's pretty good. The songs are great. It's a cute story. I kind of like where it ended in this one when she got the whatever demigod powers and such. I just don't care. It was whatever. for for a sequel to like their most successful movie streaming wise ever, like Moana 1 is like the number one streaming movie on Disney Plus, like consistently for the last couple of years. This is just a disappointment. How did they not get Lin-Manuel Miranda back to do the songs for this? And then he does that shitty ass Mufasa movie instead? Like, what the fuck? Y'all done fucked up. That's all I'm saying. Back to the good movies. My number two movie. Literally what I was waiting to see before I made this video, knowing I would like it a lot. A batshit crazy comedy horror dramatic thriller thing. It's everything. This movie is everything all at once, and it's not everything everywhere all at once, because that came out a few years ago now. This is The Substance. Demi Moore in this movie is outstanding. I am so happy she won at the Globes. I hope she wins at SAG, and God, I hope she wins at the Oscars for this movie. Holy shit, would that be the coolest thing ever? Within 30 seconds of this movie, I loved it. Just the way the opening scene was shot, the direction, the writing was funny. This is a comedy. I don't know why some people don't see this as a comedy, because it was in Golden Globes musical comedy. This movie's fucking hilarious, like throughout it. Like, obviously, there's a lot of gross, weird shit that happens in it, but there is at least like every couple of minutes something pretty funny that happens, if not like laugh out loud, out of nowhere funny throughout the 2 hours and 20-minute runtime of this movie, which does not seem that long, by the way. Margaret Qualley is amazing. The makeup is amazing. I knew this movie got weird at the end. I mean, I know it got weird, and then it gets really weird at the end. It got weirder than I even expected, and I have so much respect for that. This is like if Society was made now with a reasonably larger budget from that movie. Like they need to go back in time and give Society some awards attention because The Substance has something to thank from that movie. It might not be as classy as The Substance or have quite as much to say topic wise, but there's something there. That's all I'm saying. Go see Society if you haven't. If you like The Substance and you haven't watched Society, do yourself a favor. Right after this video is over, go watch Society. It's amazing. But Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley are great. Dennis Quaid is great in it for the smaller part he has, but he's pitch perfect creep son of a bitch in that movie. Art direction's beautiful. The cinematography's great. It's very precise. It knows exactly what it's going to do, despite feeling like it just goes batshit crazy at the end. And it goes off without a hitch. Let's just put it that way. It is easily my favorite. Probably going to be Best Picture nominee of the year that I've seen so far. But it is only my number two favorite movie. And it's only my number two because I expected to love it. My number one movie is a movie I barely heard of that looked kind of interesting. And I had the chance to go see it in theaters. Sadly, I was one of only 17 people who apparently had the chance to go see it in theaters because it is amazing, in my opinion, obviously. My number one favorite movie of the year, the surprise of the year, is Strange Darling, which made like $3 million at the box office. This movie is beautifully shot by Giovanni Ribisi, of all people, on film, they tell you at the beginning, which is kind of pretentious, but you can tell it looks like a movie and it feels like a movie, which is nice. You don't get that a lot these days. The performances in this movie are outstanding. Kyle Gallner is awesome. I've only seen him in a couple things like Smile. Smile 2 I actually just rewatched, or not rewatched, but watched for the first time last night. It was all right. But the best scene of the movie was the opening with him. But Willa Fitzgerald is the lead actress in this film, is my favorite actress, probably acting performance of the year. She turns on a dime so well, so flawlessly, beat for beat in this movie, whether you want to feel bad or good for her once you realize what's going on in this movie, because that's what's so brilliant about it. It's told out of order in 6 chapters. So at first, you really don't know what's going on. And once you know what's going on, you see how fucked up this character really is. And it's just brilliant. And she's so awesome in this movie. I don't want to say too much about it, other than it's a great thriller that's told out of sequence and the lead actor's performance is brilliant. I don't want to say much because I want you to see it. And I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. Very few people have this on their top tens of the year, especially number ones. I only know one other person is their number one, and that's my bro Huck over at Huck's Pop Culture Cafe. I was very happy to see this as his number one as well. But yeah, I cannot wait to see more from this filmmaker and this actress. Kyle Gallner is a solid indie actor in everything I've ever seen him in. Ed Begley Jr.'s in it, and they make like the most disgusting breakfast ever, and it's hilarious. You'll see when you see, but yeah, the twists and turns this movie makes and the way this character plays out throughout the film is just outstanding. So, for that reason and many others, but mostly just the surprise of the year factor, is why Strange Darling is my number one favorite movie of 2024. And I cannot wait to eventually buy it on Blu ray. It is available. And watch it again and nitpick the shit out of it. Once again, my name is Derek, the Convicted Cinephile. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next year. Well, it is next year. I'll see you next time, I guess, like I usually say.
Talk, shop, pop, movies.